You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, ex-NFL superstar, Thomas Jones, and now actor.
Man, Thomas, yes. I shouldn't even say that.
What? You just what?
I just watched him get clapped on Luke Cage.
I mean, the whole
Spoiler
series
alert.
is out.
I'm sorry.
Damn it, man.
I'm sorry. Why do they always clap the good characters on Luke Cage? They kill him in the middle of the season. First season it was Cottonmouth. Now you. Why?
Look, man, I'm not the writer. You know what I'm saying? I just try to bring the character to life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, it's a great show. This season was incredible. I was on the first season. I had a small role, but the second season is like the writing, the performances, the acting, the backstories with the characters. That's the majority of the feedback that we're getting. You know what I'm saying? Even after, you know, whatever happens to my character, I mean, it gets more intense, and my character's still a part of the show, even though I'm
not there.
gone.
Clap down.
So,
That's Charlamagne was saying. Now, how'd you get into acting? You know, last time we spoke to you, you was banged up, you was retiring, you was like your knees hurt, your ankles hurt. He was like, it's done. So how'd you get into acting?
I mean, when I retired, I mean, I didn't really have anything that I loved. You know, I was always into the music. You know, we known each other for a long time through the music. And when I retired, I was just like, you know, kind of in this weird space. You know what I mean? Because I'd always loved football. I loved music, but I wasn't an artist. And I started working on this janky project in Miami. And
what's the project
producer,
called?
I don't even want to say
You
the
don't
name of
wanna
it.
say
Yeah. It's in my past. I like to leave my past in the past.
Why was it janky?
It just wasn't. It was just janky from the start. Just
Somebody Google
yeah,
Jones rap career Miami. Google it right now.
But nah, shout out to Clifton Powell, Michael Blackson. I work with them in it, and I took a little role on the joint, produced it, and the publicist was like, "Listen, I think you have some raw talent. You need to pursue this." And I hadn't really been in my house in Miami that long because I only retired. You know, I've been retired a couple months. So I was like, "Look, I don't want to move to LA. I don't want to move to New York. I want to stay here." She persuaded me to come to New York. I got an agent. I started getting some auditions, but I didn't want to go to LA, so I make up excuses like I didn't get the email or, oh, you know what, I forgot it was today. I ended up going. The first thing that I did was Shameless. I booked it. I went in an audition. The second thing I went for was Being Mary Jane.
Oh, you got that.
So they're playing a side piece.
So, yeah, that's when I was like, yo, okay, this is for real. Because, you know, in the beginning I was just kind of playing around. But when I got cast for that and I realized how big of a show it was, I was like, this could either go good or this could either go really bad. And so after I did the show, I committed to it, moved to Hollywood, got in some actor studios over the last 3.5 years, and now I'm a full-time working actor producer. It's great.
You got to give props to that little show, that little movie in Miami. As much as you want to look down on it, that was your start.
I'm not looking down on it. I'm looking down on the people.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's fair. That's fair. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, listen.
Did it ever come out?
No. Thank God. But
it will now.
Starring Thomas Jones.
No, it won't be starring me. But nah, listen, I mean, it's been incredible, man. I was, you know, matter of fact, I used to be in Hollywood a lot. I was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in 2000, and we weren't that good. So, you know, I would go to LA to get away, and I spent a lot of time out there in my first couple years in the NFL. And I didn't really, I'm from VA, I'm from the East Coast. I didn't really like the West Coast like that. So, you know, for me to be in Hollywood right now doing what I'm doing says a lot about how much I love acting.
You think at first you were nervous to go do an audition because you weren't sure if you were going to get it and you didn't know how to really make it happen, and that's why you were avoiding it? No,
I just didn't like LA. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the West Coast. You know, I mean, even when I was playing for the Cardinals, you know, I'm the only person on the team with Tim's on. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything closed at 2. It's all West Coast music. You know what I'm saying? So
I loved it. Everything closed at 2.
I love LA, but I couldn't live there. That's what I couldn't live in LA. I like visiting LA.
Well, I love to work in LA. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a busybody. I've always been that way. And LA, I mean, I just did a movie that I sold to Sony. Shout out to Forgiven Film, Sony. Gino Taylor, Steve Belmont, called A Violent Man. It was called Choco, but we changed the name to A Violent Man, where I play an MMA fighter that gets accused of murder. So it'll be in theaters December 21st. But I met the producer and one of the writers playing basketball at 24 Hour Fitness in Hollywood.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
that's the thing,
everybody's
right?
working.
Yeah.
Every concierge. I threw 3 people in the movie. I put a waitress in there from Kitchen 24 that I knew. I put a concierge guy in there that's an actor at the W Hotel. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody in
they
LA is
probably love
working.
Everybody in LA is working. That's
Yeah,
right.
and they all aspiring actors. Plus, I've been in the actor studio for 3.5 years, so you constantly see actors, and they can't get gigs, they can't get managers, they can't get agents, and everybody's hungry. So that's the place to be. In Miami, everybody's chilling, going to the club, hanging out, going to the beach. In LA, Hollywood, everybody's hustling. That's where I need to be.
So you like LA now?
I like the work in LA.
Like the
Got
work.
you.
The work trumps the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not really out there to be social. I'm out there to really work and grind. I've made some progress in 4 years that I started acting, and I kind of see the light a little bit. I got told, like the audition thing she was talking about. I mean, you get told 99% of the time, but the one time is yes. It could be something like Luke
be
Cage,
big, right?
You know what I mean?
Do you think you get typecasted because you're a big black dude? They always want you to play a thug or a villain.
No,
Side piece.
I actually,
Why is a side piece of typecast?
No, he's right. He's right, which is why I changed my actor name to Thomas Q Jones. I added my middle initial because Thomas
things?
Jones. Well, Thomas Jones. People Google it off top. It's some crazy,
There's a lot of Thomas Joneses out there.
Yeah, well, my stuff comes up is all football. It's some football photo. I only have a haircut. I'm looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But Thomas Q Jones is, I've created another identity. I reinvented myself. So you bring Thomas Q Jones, you bring up my IMDb stuff that I worked on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I did that because I didn't want people to really know that I was a football player. I lost 20 pounds. When I played, I'm 210, I was 230. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was with the Jets, I was 230. So I lost weight. So even though I'm still big, I'm not as big as I was. And because I've been in acting classes and I'm a trained actor, I understand characters, backstories, all the things that you need to understand to be a wide variety of characters and not just one thing. That's what I pride myself on is being a real actor.
That's interesting, though, because a lot of people would think you get a lot of these roles just because you're Thomas Jones, the football player. You really put time into the craft.
It's the total opposite because, people don't respect the fact that you're in the game because so many athletes try to jump in this and they don't take it seriously and they don't respect the actors that have come before them. And that's something I didn't want to do. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure that I became an actor. So I moved to Hollywood. I didn't do any NFL commentary. I just hit from the NFL, and then I popped back up as Thomas Q Jones on Being Mary Jane. And before they could be like, oh, he's a football player, let me see how good he is, they didn't realize I was a football player until after they saw me act.
You majored in psychology?
Yeah, I majored in
So
psychology.
does that help you with acting too?
Oh,
You
yeah,
kinda
yeah.
Get into the mind of.
Yeah, it definitely helps you with acting. Everything is psychological in some capacity. And then when you're reading the script and you breaking down characters, the main thing you have to realize is, who this person is so you can become this person and add your personality.
Let's talk about your Luke Cage character because there's some complex things going on.
Yeah.
Comanche.
Yeah.
Comanche.
Now, who's Comanche?
Comanche is
I can't say it right.
is one of the original comic book characters from Luke Cage in the 70s.
Were you in the comics?
I wasn't really into comics like that. You know what I mean? I used to watch Super Friends. I used to watch the cartoons and stuff like that. But then when I started playing football at 8 years old, it was over.
Yeah.
After that, you know what I'm saying? It was all football. But Comanche is one of the original comics. He's always with shades. In the comic book, he had a bow and arrow. He was an archer. So that was his strength. And he was always with shades. And Shades on the show is played by Theo Rossi.
There's a little love thing going on too.
Yeah, you know what? It's crazy because Cheo and Marvel. I mean, one thing I do like about them is that they try to do groundbreaking stuff. And for me, in this season of Luke Cage, first season 1, if you watch episode 4, my character Comanche and Shades, we were in prison, and we beat up Luke Cage, and that's how he ended up getting in the infirmary and getting his superpowers and becoming bulletproof. In season 2, my character gets out of prison. And so I'm on the streets with Shades, and me, Alfred Woodard, who plays Mariah, all three of us are kind of moving around, and we had this gun business that we're doing, this plastics deal. So we're doing some white collar crime stuff, and the reveal is, I mean, hopefully if you haven't seen the show, you close.
I already spoiled that for you.
Yeah,
but this is something else. Basically Shades and Comanche were in prison, and they had a relationship in prison. And
They call that gay for stay.
Yeah, that's what Mariah called it.
Gay for stay?
Yeah, that's what she called it. And the thing about doing a character like that is
Go on now.
You see that part?
I missed all that. Now I
You
missed
didn't
all
hear them
that.
talking about they had a relationship and they kind of brushed it, sweep it under the rug. while they were?
It was like a little line. I didn't think nothing gay. I thought y'all meant y'all had some business deals and all that.
It was in episode 6 in the bar. It was the barbershop.
Oh, so it's after you get killed? Because you get killed in 5.
Did you watch the show?
Yeah. Am I tripping?
No, yeah, you tripping. No, it was episode 6, the barbershop. So we had a scene in the barbershop basically where I'm confronting him because I'm like, why you let Mariah run everything? You're smarter than her. And he's telling me all the secrets about what she's done in the past. And, you know, I'm a snitch on the show. So I'm getting all this intel and all this information, and in the middle of a conversation, he basically says, I still have a prison mentality and I need to step my game up. And he says we can be more than gangsters. And I say, well, we are more than that. We are more than that, or did you forget about that? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I ain't get that far.
So,
last episode I saw when you got clapped.
It's very subtle.
It's very subtle, and it's in the subtext. And the thing about, you know, me being a football player turned actor is that a role like this, you know, gave me the opportunity to show my range. You know what I'm saying? Because people automatically think, like you just said, you know, you're a football player, you big, they're going to typecast you, and you really don't have many opportunities to show your ability. You know what I mean? I can take my shirt off, yeah, and I can play some mean dude, yeah. But can he really show that he's a real actor with levels and layers and be this complex actor? And that's why I was excited about the opportunity, because I take acting seriously. This is my life now. You know what I'm saying? I went from football to becoming a full-time producer, actor. I'm constantly creating. I'm 24/7 in LA. I'm always working. I'm always thinking. I'm either auditioning or I'm casting my own stuff. Football puts you in a box. You know what I'm saying? I played 12 years in the NFL. And you can't do anything. You can't go anywhere. You in that city. You confined to this one space. You think a certain kind of way. And it takes a lot of humanity away from you, because you have to be this kind of savage kind of person and inhumane kind of person. You know what I'm saying? If I hit somebody, knock them on the ground, I could care less. You know what I mean? We'll figure that out after the game. If I knock you out, I'll care less. I'll figure it out after the game. That takes a lot of humanity away from me. Being an actor helps bring some of that back, because you have to show weakness, vulnerability. You have to be human. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I liked about the way they set the relationship up with me and Shades, is that they made it about two human beings. It wasn't the sexuality. It was the two human beings that grew up as kids, that went to prison, and that were two humans that that connected. You know what I'm saying?
So when you read the script, you didn't have a problem with any of the lines. You was like, whatever.
The thing about it was, like, when you get the script, well, they don't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you get to that episode.
Well, you go script by script.
Right.
So you know, we in the table read, and you get the script, and we all, you know, I'm sitting next to Theo, and Alfred sitting next to, you know, Rosario Dawson. We all sitting next to each other, and everybody's reading their lines, and you're getting excited because you're in the character. Right. You know, Alfie's saying her lines like, you know, well, and everybody's like excited or whatever. So you're not even really thinking about the subtext of it, because you're just in it until after you leave, and you sit in the car on the way back, and you read the script, and you're like, oh.
I know somebody made a joke in the room like, okay, y'all kiss now.
Nah, because
but did you think about
serious actors?
No, because you know why? Because it's art, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to that level,
like, we need a flashback scene of you guys.
Or their next week's script is kiss.
It might be. I ain't finished this season yet. There might be.
Nah, it's nothing like that. But it's art, man. It's artistic, and that's the thing, man. It's real life. And that's what I like about the writing on the show. It's honest writing.
How did you feel when you found out you were gonna get killed?
I mean, I understood, because it made the story more compelling. Sometimes that's what happens. You know, you get killed a little bit early because, you know, it adds to the story later on. And that's what happened this season. I was just like, yo, I got to make sure I die good, because some people, they be dying super bad and looking crazy. So I was really focused on that day.
On dying.
Yeah, I was like, I got to make sure this looks real. I shed a tear. I went in. I was like, this has to be my moment right here. So
and you didn't know. You didn't know you was gonna get shot.
No, I didn't know. Until we got the script. Yeah, you already spoiled it.
My bad.
You already said it early on.
Cat's out the bag. I done told everybody.
How do you make yourself cry?
You just, wow, man.
Think about Megan Good being married to Devon. How I let that one go.
No, man. Listen. I hope she's happy. She's a sweetheart, man. I wish her the best. I wish her the best, him the best, everybody the best.
They good people, great people.
I'm good. I'm in my own world. So, But no, you just think of like the worst possible thing. You know what I'm saying? That could possibly happen, and you really believe it.
For you
know
personally, what was that when you were doing that scene?
To be honest, I was thinking about if something happened to my mom or my dad. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about just what that would be like, because you know my dad has been very influential in my life as far as my sports career and just being, you know, my almost like a brother. You know, and my mom is the nicest person you would ever meet. You know what I'm saying? And my life now, it's not even for me. You know what I'm saying? It's for them. I mean, I've played football in the NFL. I mean, I've done all the whatever, money, cars. Like, I'm 21 years old. I'm 7th pick in the draft. Like, come on. You know, I was up here in New York for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Deshaun, he right over here. You know, we used to, you know, like, so it's not even about me. I think this whole journey now, post-football, is really for them. You know, it's cool that I get a chance to be on TV, something that is foreign to them. Football, they know. My brother played 8 years in the NFL. I played 12 years. They know football since we were kids. But this is different. You know what I'm saying? I have 5 sisters. You know, they're all into fashion in Hollywood, and now their brother's right smack in the middle of it. You know, it's more so it's more so about them enjoying the journey with me and seeing them smile. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's about.
Now let's talk. You got something else?
I was gonna say, me too. I was gonna say you played in the NFL for 12 years. Like, did it affect you any? CTE?
I mean, I don't know about CTE. I mean, one of the good things about being an actor is I'm constantly having to memorize lines. And you constantly having to think. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're playing football, your mind is at 150 miles an hour constantly. And then when you retire, it's just, boom, screeching halt. And I think that's why a lot of guys have problems, because you can't really simulate that type of energy. You know, when you're in a game, away game, and you got audibles, the ball snapped, it's loud, you can't hear nothing, you in the dome. I mean, your mind is just racing. You know what I'm saying? As a running back, most of the time I didn't even see the ball. I didn't even hear the snap count. I don't hear the quarterback say set hut. I just look at the ball. So sometimes I get off the ball late because, you know, it's crazy. You know, when you go, it's kind of like probably like being in the military. You know, it's like bullets flying. You know what I mean? 1 minute you could be chilling, next minute you hit. Same thing in football. You could be running a pass route, don't see nobody. Next minute, boom, you laying on the ground, concussion.
What do you say about those kids that want to play football? I know a lot of ex-football players say, "Nah, I would never want my son," or tell kids not to play. What would you say?
I would understand why they wouldn't want to let them play. Because my body is beat up. You know what I'm saying? I broke my ribs my rookie year. I had 3 ribs come out of my sternum, so I have shallow breathing. I breathe in my upper chest, my lower body, my knees, my ankles. It's crazy because I have this youthful energy. I'm always joking. I'm the biggest jokes. I'm joking, laughing, acting stupid. Steve Cohen over here, look. I brought Steve. We laughing at 7 in the morning on the way over here. You know what I'm saying? But my body doesn't match that. I get up in the morning and it's tough for the first 10, 15 minutes. Nothing. I mean, I had
smoke weed.
I had over
yoga.
I mean,
yoga,
that's your
acupuncture.
mind, but that's not really your body. I mean, our bodies weren't meant to do this. You know what I'm saying? We made it normal. You're not supposed to be running to a wall. You know, I had over 2,600 carries, over 10,000 yards.
Yeah, you played a long time for a running back.
Yeah, so you don't, and when you're playing, you're not thinking about post-career, because as soon as you think about post-career, your career going to be over.
Right.
Football guys don't allow that. You're going to have an ankle injury, knee injury, something. So you got to think you're going to play 100 years. And I was one of those players. I pull up like, I'm going to play forever. And you're not thinking about post-football at all, you know? And now it's almost like I didn't even do that. When I look back at some of the highlights or fans will hit me on Twitter, social media, you know, repost plays and stuff, it's like, is that me? You know what I mean? It's somebody different. But my body's like, yeah, that was you. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's crazy.
You kind of fell into acting. If you didn't do acting, what were you thinking you would do after football?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because becoming an actor forced me to become somebody else. Not saying I was a bad person when I played football, but I was a lot more aggressive. I was a lot more intense, less patient. You know, because you know, once you get to a certain level in the NFL, it's not even about the money no more. You know what I'm saying? It's not about winning anymore. It becomes about the game. You get caught in this psychological fight with the game, just the domination, just hitting somebody and just knowing you dominated that person.
What do you think of the game now, though? With the
think,
protest and them telling them that they can't kneel and.
I mean, it's a business. You know what I'm saying? The NFL is a business. Always has been a business.
Would you
know what I'm saying? Of course. Be on the front lines kneeling. Yes. Right. That was the kind of player I was, though. That's why people so blown away that I'm an actor because the media never knew my personality because I never talked to them. You know what I mean? I knew y'all got a story to write. So when the media is coming around for lunchtime, I'm watching film or I'm in the training room or somewhere because I understand the business of it. And I was fortunate to understand that early on because my career started off so bad in Arizona that I realized early this is a business. So I treated it as such. As far as the protest, yeah, it's a platform for us to speak our mind and you know, bring attention to something that's really happening. You know what I'm saying? You got a racist president, you got a racist administration. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to deny it or not, it's the truth. It is what it is. So, you know, Colin Kaepernick, the players kneeling, I saluted them. Eric Reed, all those guys.
You know, Eric's blackballed this year. Eric can't get a job this year.
I know.
If nobody's talking about it, but Eric can't get a job.
Yeah, they won't let him in. I was on. Listen, I almost had carpal tunnel on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, going in on, you know what I'm saying, going in on people because, you know, people they don't want to acknowledge the truth.
The fact that the league said that now, if players kneel, they'll fine them. What do you think the players should do?
I mean, they kind of got their hands tied. That's the thing too. You know, a lot of players, man. I mean, you know, people think all NFL players making millions of dollars. They not. You know what I'm saying? Certain players are. Certain players making
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, and it's still a lot of money, but in comparison, it's really not. You know what I'm saying? So they know the leverage that they have. I mean, when I was in the NFL, honestly, early in my career, we didn't even come out for the national anthem. And even when we would come out for the national anthem, to be perfectly honest, like I wasn't even thinking about the national anthem. I'm thinking, listen, I got the first 5 plays of the game. You know what I'm saying? I need to get air in my helmet. I'm looking for an ammonia strip. I'm make sure my pads are like, yo, the next 5 minutes I could get paralyzed.
Right. So
in my mind, I'm not necessarily thinking about that. But it's hard for people to rationalize with that because you're not on the field, you're watching it, but you're not in our position to where literally I could be laid out there and I can't move.
Right.
In the next 5 minutes, it's real. You know, so yeah, you know, I mean, I applaud all the players that protest and they have every right to. And I have fans that support me, and I love those fans, man. I love the NFL fans that support me and supported my career. I talk to everybody. I'm super active on social media. You know what I'm saying? I love those fans, and I appreciate them. I'm a very humble person, but at the same time, you know, this is a major problem. And I look at it sometimes. I'm like, if my name was Philando Castile, well, would you care about me as much as you care about me being Thomas Jones for the Bears or the Jets?
That's real.
And we know that, and we already know the answer to that.
Absolutely.
You know, one question though, you talk a lot about the psychology of how you have to be so aggressive when you're playing football and just your whole mind state. Do you think, or are there any programs in place for NFL players now where, you know, we see a lot of things happening domestically, just a lot of aggression? Are there things in place to kind of help the NFL players so that they can get those aggressions out or deal with them?
I think they should get into art. Seriously, like
no,
because that is a lot mentally, like to try to switch from being so aggressive on the field and not being that way in real life.
No, you're right. I mean, I guess they have programs set up. You know, I'm so disconnected from the game. Like,
did they have anything when you were playing, or?
I'm sure they have certain programs set up. You know, but it's not really advertised.
Or mandatory.
It's not mandatory.
It should be.
Certain things that you have to. Well, there is a couple mandatory things that they had before. They, like if you're a rookie, they have a rookie symposium where they go over all these scenarios. Then before the season, they do have a couple people come in during training camp and you know, go over a couple of random situations, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You know, but that's not going to really help. You know what I mean? Because you never know what's going to happen in real time.
Right.
And, you know, that's the sad thing about, you know, being an NFL player. You know, the game is such a violent game that no matter what we do, we wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you
saw Pac-Man Jones in the airport. They had
I saw him in the airport.
When that whole video of him getting
I mean, I don't know what happened. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I heard that the guy wanted an autograph, and he said no. You know, and I think from what I saw, the dude kind of said something to him and attacked him. But, you know, I don't know what happened.
Himself, right. It looked like he defended
but
himself,
yeah, but, you know, you look on social
still
media.
A man at the end of the day.
But you look on social media, Pac-Man Jones again, Pac-Man Jones again. It's like, well, I mean, where do we get a break?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When is it not our fault?
Right.
And that's the problem. That's why, you know, for me, you know, I understand who I am. I understand as a black man, I'm always going to be the villain. I'm always going to, and that's why I want to create my own content.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And in Hollywood to show us how I want us to be seen. I have a TV show right now that I'm shopping in networks, about positive black men that are doing the everyday black men. You know what I mean? We're not killing each other. We're not you know, too quirky. We just the everyday black man that's just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody will be able to relate to it. Hopefully, it'll get picked up, and I'll be back on here to talk to you all about it. But yeah, man, I got
one last question. You got to do a lot of sex scenes with Gabrielle Union. Was D Wade ever there, just standing over y'all like? All right, that thrust look a little too real.
Thrust look a little real.
Thomas Q.
No. You know what's so crazy is when you're doing like love scenes. I mean, it's not even what you think. It's like how this is. He got his camera in my face. You know, everybody's still, oh, yo, looking. I mean, that's.
I feel
that, you know what I mean. So it's not even like that, and more so as an actor, it's about the story. And like for example, on Being Mary Jane, the love scenes were a little more like kind of intimate because that's what she needed. You know what I'm saying? Her character. And A Violent Man, you know, it's a crime thriller. You know, my character is an MMA fighter that has a one-night stand with an MMA reporter, and the next morning she's found strangled to death. So
he did it. No kidding.
So maybe not. You got to watch the movie to see. But those love scenes were more aggressive, more violent. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to imply like, hey, this could have happened or it could not have happened. So those are it just depends on the story. Everything is based on the story. You know what I'm saying? And I would think the same thing before when I would watch TV or watch. You know, but now as an actor, it's like now I've been doing it for 4 years, which is not a long time, but I've done a lot of stuff in a short period of time. I understand what it's about. It's more so just about the backstory and bringing the story to life.
What's your take on LaShawn McCoy and what's happening with him right now?
I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Thomas Q, like, mind your business.
Yeah,
I mind my business.
Somebody asked me that. I did an AOL build yesterday, and somebody from TMZ, I said, oh, here they come. And it's like, oh, there's another 10,000-yard rusher. What do you think about LaShawn? I'm like, man, I don't know. That has nothing to do with me.
That's a good segue. Like, what does 10,000 yards got to do with anything?
Trying to connect us both of us got 10,000 yards.
I don't know. What he starts acting as me.
So he's trying to connect me with him 10,000 yards. Like, I don't know. I just stay in the background like everybody else and watch. I don't want to get none of that on me.
Right.
So, you know.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You invited up here anytime.
Thank you.
Thomas Jones, the actor.
Thomas Q. Jones.
Thomas Q. Jones.
Yes.
The actor.
Yes.
It's the Breakfast Club.
A Violent Man, yo. Check it out.
When
December 21st.
Oh.
December 21st.
December 21st.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Matthew Berkowitz, the director. It's dope.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.